Today on the Tom Kearin channel, do this and watch love and money flood into your life. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Tom Kearin channel in studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the Tom Kearin channel. We have a big video for you today. One of you reached out just to say hello. You were inquiring about whether we're going to do a coaching program. And that is something in the future. And you wanted to get involved in Be Something Wonderful and the Tom Kearin channel. But what I want to share with you is what this particular creator shared with me. How they're creating absolute love and abundance in their life from every corner. They said it's flooding into their life. And I wanted this person to tell me a little bit about it so I could share that with you. And I said, well, what was it? What was the key for you to move you from this sort of sense of just getting by and lack of love and lack of money to it just being flooded with it all around you? And he particularly mentioned, we've mentioned on a few videos, this idea to focus on what you sow instead of what you reap. Focus on the sowings and not the reapings. That and the other idea from that TV show, The Chosen, the life of Jesus, or in other words, the life of your I am awareness, the metaphysical message of Jesus Christ as your higher self or I am awareness. And he pointed to the scene at the pool of Bethesda, which I've talked about many times, which I've called the metaphysical masterpiece. You should Google that, The Chosen scene or the healing at the pool of Bethesda, and it will come right up. He watched it many times, watched the videos where we unpacked it. And he said it was that idea that he gets goosebumps every time he watches it. When Jesus, as your I am awareness, says you do not need this pool. You only need me. In other words, it's you talking to yourself. It's your higher self talking to you. You only need your awareness of who and what you're being. When you desire something, that's just that innate urge, that natural impulse to know yourself as the creator. So everything else in terms of what's going on then, because you're focused on the creations and not being the creator. You're focused on seeking and not being the seeker. You're focused on the reapings and not the sowings, right? You're focused on doing and having and not being. We've talked about in earlier videos this whole metaphysical idea of the be, do, have paradigm, or that we have it backwards, right? The paradigm is that we focus on being that person you desire to be, right? Focus on the sowing, focus on being the source, being the creator of everything you want. And everything you want to do and have is going to be there. But we focus on if I had this, then I would do this, and then I'd finally be that person I want to be. We have the be-do paradigm backwards, upside down, right? We're creating from the bottom up, right? If I only had this, then I could do this, and I'd finally be that person I want to be. Remember, from the bottom up, there's no getting there, right? You've got to be it. That's what we're talking about. And some of you say, well, what about the circumstances? They're in my face. Remember, there's no circumstances in your face. Everything's a reflection of who and what you're conscious of being. Nothing's out there. It's you. When you shift, everything shifts. It makes no sense to focus on the conditions of the circumstances that are being projected and reflected from who and what you're conscious of being. They're changing as you look. Like that movie Next with Nicolas Cage, where he could see 2 minutes into the future. I use that quote often on the Be Something Wonderful channel. That he says a funny thing about the future. Every time you look, it changes because you looked, and that changes everything. It's always changing in the who and what you're conscious of being. So you're it, right? You're everything. I want to remind you right now that you couldn't be more fulfilled, more complete, more whole, and more healed than you are in this moment right now, right? I think A Course in Miracles says you have that insane thing about trying to be more than everything, right? Trying to usurp the power of God. You're it. You are that power. You're the only power. You're all power. And I want to read, one of you wrote, based on a video that we just released on I think it was the Be Something Wonderful channel, live as if, right? Even beyond the idea of acting as if, which gives you that sense that you're pretending. Live it. And this person said this. Look, how do you apply this? Not even hello, Tom, or anything like that. They're just, look, how do you apply it? We love you, so no worries. Look, how do you apply this when the visual world is screaming, no, it is not? The visual world is not screaming anything. That's why. It's you. The visual world's not doing anything. There is no world outside of you. It's your reflection and projection of who you're being. You're the one that's screaming, no, it is not. Not the circumstances, not others, not that projection or reflection outside of you. It's you. And when you stop screaming, no, it's not, and instead saying, I am everything I desire to be, that reflection, that image will immediately coalesce around that declaration, around that announcement, around that new image of who you desire to be. It has to. It's law. It has no other choice. It's your will as God's will. It must conform and coalesce to everything you're being. So you say you can't walk around with your eyes closed, so how do you live like you're already? It's not about walking around with your eyes closed. Those circumstances are changing as you're walking within them. It's your reality. It's all you. You're saying, I have no power, that those circumstances and conditions have power over me, have authority over me. Your source. That's why I use that quote from Scripture where Jesus, as your I am awareness, is sitting in front of Pontius Pilate as they captured him. And Pilate, in Scripture, representing the circumstances, representing the things that you want to shut your eyes to, right? Those circumstances that you say are screaming, no, is not. No, it is not. That's Pilate, right? Trying to question Jesus. And Jesus not answering. Not denying anything, just not answering to those. That's the perfect demonstration of true denial. You're not running away. You're not closing your eyes. You're just not answering to them. You're saying you would have, remember, Pilate, as those circumstances, says to Jesus, your I am awareness, what? You're not speaking to me? Don't you know I have the power to set you free or crucify you? Then finally, Jesus does answer and says, you would have and could have absolutely no power whatsoever or authority over me unless it's given from above. Unless I say so as I am. That's what we're talking about here. That's the proper use of denial. It's not trying to ignore anything or run away from anything or saying that those circumstances are not there. It's saying that they're just not what they seem. They are as you are in that moment. In the moment you decide, I'm going to be I am, everything changes. Right? That's powerful. And you said it's truly a mind melt for me. And I just end up in tears. But remember, it's because you're believing there's a source or a reality or a power outside of you. So yeah, naturally we create that idea that I'm weak, I'm separate, I'm alone, but you are source. So it's going to be tears of joy now, tears of that I am that I am. That's what we're talking about, right? That powerful scene in The Chosen on that TV show, at the healing at the pool of Bethesda, right? Talking, Jesus, your I am awareness, talking about those circumstances, talking about the things that you say are screaming, no, it is not. And what does Jesus as your I am awareness say? This pool, it means nothing. It does nothing. It means nothing. The circumstances are you get to determine all the meaning they have. And when you focus on being the source instead of being the seeker, when focusing on what you're sowing rather than what you're reaping, focus on yourself as the creator rather than the creations. Now you're standing in that knowing. Flip the paradigm, the be, do, have paradigm. Right? We have it flipped. Flip it right side up. Be, do, have. Be that person you want to be, and then everything that you want to do and have is going to be there. That's how it works. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Tom Kearin channel and studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Be sure to check out the Be Something Wonderful YouTube channel. We just dropped a big video there. Another big aha moment for you. Until next time, with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin here on the Tom Kearin channel in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. We'll see you soon.